local sports show in Jacksonville. This is Action Sports Jax Prime Time.
I feel like we have the best quarterbacks in the nation, but that might be just my opinion.
I mean, we might be a little biased, but I would absolutely put our crop of quarterbacks against any other region in the entire nation. Our area has always been a hotbed for collegiate talent, but personally, I can't recall ever seeing a crop of top-tier quarterbacks like we currently have. Over a dozen sitting on D1 offers and commitments. It's no wonder that we're covering deep playoff runs every single year.
Season, boy. What time it is, man?
In 2021, Trinity Christian won their 9th state championship trophy. They leaned heavily on the run game in that contest, but the guy leading the 2024 quarterback class was a big reason why they were able to get back on top. You know who I'm talking about, Colin Hurley. I don't think that it would be an understatement to say that Colin Hurley is the bell cow of the class. This guy is no stranger to hard work, and he has the resume to prove it. He's the youngest African-American quarterback to win a state title in Florida. He's been everything from Player of the Year to an All-American. He also makes a name for himself at every single quarterback camp in the country. Just check his social media. Watching him play football is a thing of beauty. I've never seen him rattled, and he leads a Trinity team with such a calmness that almost seems super easy at times. All of those accolades and traits are the reason that Brian Kelly and LSU offered the 4-star quarterback, and he's on his way to Baton Rouge after his final season with the Conquerors, a fitting reward for all of his hard work.
No, it feels great. No, honestly, the reward to me is just to be able to go out there and really put in the work and really see what happens off the field, on the field from the work that I put in. So it feels great to really see all the accomplishments that I've made in my life. I don't really look over it, but I don't worry about it too much. I just go out there and work and go have fun.
And I don't think it would be, far-fetched to say that you're obviously leading the class. The only SEC commit, going all around the country, dominating to sort of be the representative name, if you will, for the big quarterback class in Jacksonville. What does that mean for you?
No, it feels great. No, I'm proud of where I live now. No, I'm from Miami, but no, I'm proud to call myself a kid from Jacksonville and to be able to go out there and put in the work all around the country and really put a name on this city for quarterbacks, and it feels great. There's a couple good guys around here, but not the best one plays at 800 Hammond Boulevard. So I like to represent Jacksonville in that way.
I love it. Hurley will definitely be one of the most accomplished and decorated quarterbacks to come through the 904. Colin Hurley isn't the only Top Gun that we have in the city. We're going to run down the list of those guys through the course of the show. One of the great things about all of these guys that we're going to talk about is their relationship. They all hang out and train together. You'll typically see a handful of them at any local camp. Case in point, the trio behind me. Let's start with Lachlan Hewlett out of St. Augustine High School. The Iowa Hawkeyes commit has really come on. The Wake Forest commit has really come on. Heading into his junior season, this guy is going to keep getting better, which is scary. As a sophomore, he threw for more than 2,000 yards and tallied 23 touchdowns with just 6 picks as he led the Yellow Jackets to a district title. His dad, Will, is a well-known quarterback trainer that has worked with names like Brock Purdy and Anthony Richardson. That resource has helped Lachlan grow into a budding quarterback that is finding his groove.
I think I've had the talent and I've had the people around me, but it was me. I needed to be confident mentally, and now that I have that, I'm so confident going into next season.
Everyone would say that you're one of the top quarterbacks, in the city. When you hear, that's kind of, the way you're being spoken about in such a, hotbed of talent. What does that do for you?
It means a lot. No one really labeled me as that coming in. I was kind of just that guy. I was, one of the bottom guys on the list. But at the end of the day, you really should only care about what you think about yourself.
Last one for you. This one is specifically just about the relationship you have with your dad, coach and quarterback on the field, and dad and son at home. Like, how's that balance like?
He's been perfect for me. Some dads can get, too hard on you, want you to play football more than you actually want to play football. He always let it be my choice, and then I told him, I was like, I want you to push me. He made it be my choice, and he's been so amazing throughout the whole entire process.
Back in Duval County, DJ Moore heads into his senior year leading the Bowles Bulldogs. He missed some time last year, but still solidified himself as one of the top guns in the city by leading Bowles to the 2A state semifinals. He's a two-sport athlete that caught the attention of plenty of eyes outside of the city limits. That attention turned into a lot of commitments, nearly a dozen to be exact. Among those were 2 SEC schools, Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Moore ultimately decided to commit to Coastal Carolina. Even though his college plans are solidified, he believes that his road to improvement is just beginning.
I'm just trying to get 1% better every day. I mean, I don't really go off stats. I'm not a stats guy, not really into statistics, but I mean, I know with the group of guys we have, I can make something special. I don't take it as, oh, I'm this guy or I'm this good. I mean, once you get to college, everybody's good. So I'm taking that as right now, everyone in the state is good, everyone in high school is good. Being a quarterback on any team, you're the leader, you're the motivation. You got to be able to take pressure, handle up when it's time to handle. You're the boat in the ocean. There's big shoes to fill. I got pretty big feet though.
I sense no shortage of confidence during our conversation, which is exactly what Moore will need as QB1 at Bolles. And it'll be a matchup between friends when Bolles and St. Augustine take the field for the first time. August 25th, Bolles versus St. Augustine, DJ Moore against Lachlan Hewlett. Bring your popcorn, folks. Gonna be a good one. Bishop Kenny has one of the best views in the city. Their field is located on the banks of the St. Johns River, directly across from TIAA Bank Field. Get your Friday night fix while enjoying a brief look ahead to Sundays at the bank. That's the present and the future. In terms of the past, well, Bishop Kenny would probably like to leave their past matchups with Bolles in the archives, never to be seen again. The Bulldogs owned the Crusaders for over 40 years, 45 to be exact. These two got together again in Week 10 for the district title. But it was a different story this time around. The Crusaders ended the drought by defeating Bolles 14-13. And let me tell you, I was out there for all this celebration, and let me tell you, they partied like it was 1977. It was a team effort, but they definitely have to thank this guy. James Reeser bounced back to lead the Crusaders to that victory against Bolles and 7 other opponents last season. Reeser is the definition of resilient. He played through a broken leg during his sophomore season while still averaging nearly 10 yards per carry. Last season, he tallied over 2,000 all-purpose yards with 21 total touchdowns. He's committed to the Iowa Hawkeyes, but don't expect a drop-off from James in his senior campaign. He's dangerous with his arm and his leg. Bishop Kenny has themselves a baller at quarterback.
My ability to move around and make plays once things don't work is what makes me the type of player that I am.
How much do you want to be the best of those? Maybe not from a notoriety standpoint, but to feel that self-fulfillment of knowing that you're right up there with the top.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the best in Jacksonville, I mean, best in maybe one of the best in the country with how many good ones we have here. It shows what you can do in the future, not just high school.
Surprisingly, some evaluators have James listed as a pro-style quarterback, which is a little disrespectful if you ask me. This guy is literally a runner. He's competed on the state level in the 100-meter dash on the track, folks. To label this guy as one-dimensional is just downright flagrant. Put some respect on my guy's skills, okay? Oh, can you feel it? It's about that time. Fall camp is coming up soon, which means that the regular season of high school football is also right around the corner. Although those high school football players from the area often take their talents outside of the state of Florida, that isn't always the case. Many of the guys actually end up playing for the teams that they grew up watching. That's the case for Tramel Jones, the upcoming junior committed to Florida State. And it's no surprise why they wanted him. As a sophomore, he led the Mandarin Mustangs to the playoffs and threw for over 2,300 yards to go along with 23 total touchdowns. Last year was a big step up from his freshman campaign, and he displayed that growth at various quarterback football camps. Seriously, he's been at all of them. He's very serious about his craft. He's grown physically and mentally as he prepares for his 3rd year as QB1.
Sophomore season, it really slowed down for me. Really got to look what I was trying to see what I was doing on the field. But I think my junior year is really what's gonna take me to that next step. I have a lot of goals this year. I'm trying to throw for 4,000 yards. This is a big goal, but it's something I really want to do. At least 40 touchdowns, and of course, win a state championship.
From a drive perspective for you, how much does being the best in your mind, fuel you?
I feel like being the best it's a lot of things that come with being the best on and off the field, but I'll do anything to be the best in the city, in the country, in the state. So that's really what I'm trying to be.
Let me tell you something. If Tramel Jones throws for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns on the way to winning a state title, let me tell you, there's going to be a convincing argument about who's one of the best quarterbacks in the entire city. The majority of top quarterback names from the 904 have actually come from Bartram Trail High School. Names like Kyle Parker, Nate Peterman, who, by the way, is still cashing checks in the NFL. And we can't forget about the fairly recent trio or duo of Joey Gatewood and Riley Smith. The next name in that pipeline is Riley Trujillo. The 6'4" dual threat quarterback is on his way to the University of Central Florida after this upcoming season. He's collected 26 college offers and for good reason, over 2,600 total yards with 20 touchdowns. But more importantly, he led the Bartram Trail Bears to a 12-1 record last season. The pressure that comes with being the quarterback at Bartram Trail High School is undeniable, especially with names like this. But Riley has answered the bell time and time again. But if you ask him, it's definitely a team effort.
It's great just to be considered one of the top guys in Jacksonville because how many great quarterbacks we have. I truly believe Jacksonville is like the best group of guys out of anywhere in the country. So I think that's really important to me.
As we're walking in, you look at all this kind of the signage around, and even the sign that talks about all the great Bartram Trail quarterbacks that have played here. I mean, some might call this QBHS. Now you're one of them. Where's that sense of pride being the starting quarterback at Bartram Trail High School?
I mean, honestly, I couldn't have done it without my teammates. I want to make sure I do the best on the field just because I want the guys on my team, get that success too. I want them to see me going 100% on each play, so they start going 100% on each play. So that way we just go out there and we kill teams. I mean, it's great, when you see everyone going 100% and the other team just looks like they don't even want to be out there anymore.
That's right. Take no prisoners. In a few years, we may be making the ride up and down I-4 as Riley leads the UCF Knights, while another local is ready to take the Bulls by the horns. Ooh, that's a quarterback, folks. His name is Marcellus Tate, and he leads the Fletcher Senators. Now that's how all of us Marcells enter the room. Memorable. He's kind of a soft-spoken guy, but if you ask around town, they'll tell you that Marcellus Tate is one of the real ones. He led those Fletcher Senators to the playoffs last year, and like the rest of the guys on this list, he's as humble as they come. As you saw in the previous highlights, he can flip the switch and play with the best of them. He's locked in on his commitment to the University of South Florida Bulls to play the hardest position in sports.
Quarterback is not like an easy thing. Like, you're the man of the team, so like everybody is gonna follow you. And when you see your team going in like a good step, you just start to feel good about the team and stuff. You feel better as a player and everything. So I just feel like that helps a lot.
Being one of the top guys of the top guys, in the city, the buzz around you, Marcellus Tate as quarterback, in the city where there's so many quarterbacks, what does it mean for you when you hear that you're one of, the top guys of the top guys?
It means a lot. It keeps me pushing also because I know there's guys that's as talented as me, so it keeps me pushing each day.
These days, those kids are committing to schools earlier and earlier, but that's not exactly the case for everyone. Some guys want to sit on their offers and, of course, weigh all of their options as they get ready to make one of the most important decisions of their lives. Keep an eye on Rodney Tisdale Jr., though. He actually started his high school career at Mandarin, but now is in his second season as a signal caller over there with the First Coast Buccaneers. Now, look, I'm no quarterback whisperer or anything. I can't throw the ball myself, but this kid can spin it. He showed off his arm in First Coast spring games and did not disappoint. Word on the street is that he's sitting on quite a few D1 offers. He'll be a name to watch this fall as First Coast looks to return to prominence.
There's no pressure, When I first came here, I already knew what I had to do. It was much love coming in here. Just coming in here, just doing what I do.
You might be, one of the better armed quarterback talent-wise that First Coast has had since, DeAndre Johnson. When you hear things like that, just in terms of maybe not the comparison, but people putting you up that high in terms of talent-wise, how does that make you feel?
It made me feel pretty great to be you know, compared to one of the best QBs that was in the city. I mean, I'm just trying to go D1 and, you know, play the sport I love, you know.
Now, here's a fun fact for you. Tisdale's dad was drafted to play baseball in the 90s. And you know, Patrick Mahomes' dad played baseball, too. I'm not saying anything, but, you know, I'm just saying. Now for a guy that is sliding under the radar. Nico Smith is from Nassau County, but left the state to play for Ward County last season. He led them to an undefeated year in their first high school state championship in the entire school's history. Following that historic season for the Gators, he and his family decided to come back to the Sunshine State to sport the colors that he knows so well.
That is one of the biggest stadiums I could be in, one of the biggest platforms I could have played on, and I was excited to be a part of it, excited to win too.
Now you know what it takes to get to that level. You know, have you seen sort of the guys kind of rallying around you?
I've learned a whole lot of things coming from where I came from, and so I'm gonna have to help lead this team. We're all gonna learn together.
Just tell me, what's it like for you to be able to come back and, you know, put on this Hornet logo again?
Feels great, honestly. I love this community. This is where I grew up. Everybody that I know here, it's like family coming back. I'm really excited for this, really excited for these home games. I'm excited for it.
And we're excited for him. Nico is hoping that he can revive the Hornets and earn the opportunity to live out his dreams of playing college football. Let's talk about another underclassman that you may not have heard too much about. Sebastian Broughton was the man in charge last year for the Fleming Island Golden Eagles. I've asked around, and every quarterback and coach had nothing but great things to say about him, and for good reason. He made plenty of plays with his arm and his feet, going over 2,000 yards with 23 touchdowns last year. That was as a sophomore, but don't let that youth fool you. He may be young, but I promise you, he is plenty mature and has proven to be capable of leading this Golden Eagles football team.
It's just a blessing, you know. My team helped me get there mostly, and my coach always calls the right plays, so I get to just play how I play, ball out every night. That's it.
You know, you being an underclassman, it's got to be, you know, gratifying for you to start to see like the fruits of your labor and the product of your hard work. And you still have, you know, 2 more years left.
It's good, but it's like, you know, my team is always there for me. I'm not the only one who can do it because I know I got some help on my team. Everything that I can do, it's just fun to see my teammates and what we can do together.
Yep, well, there you go. 10 of the best high school quarterbacks in the entire area. And by the way, I'm going to say it, in the entire country. Just take a look at all these guys. And I said it at the top of the show. I would take these 10 quarterbacks and put them up against any other area's signal callers. And I bet my house on it. Well, maybe your house, not mine. Are these the only big-time quarterbacks in the area? Of course not. We'll have some new names emerge as the season goes on, which, by the way, proves my point. QB Capital. Right here, folks. The best part is that we're going to see some of these guys play each other throughout the season. A treat for us and a treat for the guys delivering the football.
No, it's just honestly great just to play against one of your friends. You know, there's always going to be competition off the field, but whenever you get to really play against each other on the field, it's just amazing.
You know, it's good to compete against each other, friendly little competition. You know, we don't really play each other in the regular season, which I wish I did because there would be a lot of, you know, smack talk leading up to that.
When it's time to put them pads on, it's a different mood. You might not be my friend on that field for that hour and a half, but outside, you know I love you.
We always talk trash to each other, you know, but it's friendly trash talk. We're just we all talk about how we're to come out and smack each other around.
It's definitely a competition at the end of the day, but you know, we was all friends growing up. We're still friends now.
I'll be committing to the University of Alabama.
Well, it's official. Mandarin High School wide receiver Jamie French has chosen the Crimson Tide as his future home for his college football playing career. Many thought that the 4-star wideout would join his quarterback Tremel Jones on the Florida State commitment list, but French decided to choose his own path. Looks like we'll just have to enjoy the connection between these two at Mandarin for as long as we can. Hey, don't forget to come back for Action Sports Jax Primetime tomorrow night. I won't be here, so it won't be as stylish, but I promise it'll be a good show. Why? Well, because it's the best local sports show on television. Come on, you just heard the opening of the show, right? Tune in. You know the time and you know the channel. And also, don't forget to check out our Jaguars preview special live from the brand new Miller Electric practice facility. On Tuesday night, we're going to show you all of the bells and whistles and inside of the facility. And we're also going to preview the Jags as they report for training camp. We've got a full hour for you. The whole game is going to be around from 7 to 8 on Tuesday night. That's going to do it for this edition of Action Sports Jax Primetime. We appreciate you hanging with us tonight. And don't forget, these quarterbacks, they're going to be around. As we count down to those high school football season, we're going to leave you with another look at these great gunslingers that we have in our area. It all begins with Kyler Hurley. We know that this guy has more accolades and more accomplishments than any other person we've probably seen in a long time. Lachlan Hewlett, I'm telling you, watch out for this guy. He's only going to get better, and I think he's going to emerge as one of the top guys after this season. Next up, I mean, just look at all the guys that we have here. This is Rodney Tisdale Jr. I'm telling you, I like him in First Coast. I've seen him spin it. Trust me. Watch out for him. And, of course, James Rashard. Put some respect on my man's run game.
Action Sports Jax Primetime, Saturday at 10:30 on Fox 30.